When this dog led a woman to an abandoned farm, she heard a whimpering from under the floorboards. Even after her rescue, Betty Boop wouldn't rest and strained against her leash. And Crystal Woodward, the lady walking her, knew something was wrong, so she followed Betty to an abandoned farmhouse. That's when Woodward heard the sounds coming from beneath her. The Bull Terrier had not always been called Betty Boop. In fact, there was a time when she didn't have a name at all. That's because when rescuers first found her, Betty was fighting for survival on the streets of California. But she wasn't as alone as it first appeared. Many people around the area had seen the Bull Terrier on her hunt for food. In fact, it was speculated after Betty's rescue that she had traveled miles from her den as she searched. Witnesses subsequently reported their sightings to a local animal rescue group. To be more specific, the charity is Pinkie Paws Rescue, or PPR, now also called as Pinkie Paws Search and Rescue. Woodward manages the nonprofit with her husband with the aim of changing the lives of homeless animals. And, conveniently, Betty Boop was living in Woodward's own locale. I made a timeline of sightings of Betty, and it took lots of time to catch her, Woodward told Metro in 2017. I went out on breaks and lunches to search for her. Woodward added, many people tried catching the dog, but with no success. Woodward revealed that her determination had eventually paid off, though, as she caught Betty on April 12, 2017, with the help of animal control officers. I could tell when Betty looked at me that she needed my help. So, I wanted to help change her life and show her real love, Woodward explained. And Woodward could have done just that had Betty not managed to slip through her prospective savior's grasp. Fortunately, Woodward's internet connections revealed another sighting of the Bull Terrier. And the animal rescuer caught up with Betty on the hunt for food again, so she lured the dog with treats. However, Betty was so desperate for nourishment that she found the tidbits irresistible. When I got her out of the trap after work, she was content, Woodward said to Metro. She felt safe with me and trusted me. But even after her veterinary treatment, Betty was still restless. Woodward knew why that was too, since earlier witnesses, who had brought the Bull Terrier to PPR's attention, had reported her as pregnant. The logical conclusion, then, was that Betty was eager to return to her stashed puppies, but where were they? Woodward decided to follow Betty in the hope of finding the pups. With this in mind, Betty's rescuer took her out on a lead. And the dog was acting very oddly, as if she wanted Woodward to follow her. In fact, throughout the journey, Betty stared expectantly at her human, that is, until Woodward got the hint and trailed behind her. Betty then led Woodward 2 miles across the countryside to an abandoned farmhouse before she started whining. The animal rescuer captured the subsequent footage on her cell phone. I don't know if maybe her babies are here, Woodward says in the video. I would think they would cry. After another quick whine, though, Betty begins to make her way around the side of the house. There, she waits for Woodward to open the door and head straight in as if she is familiar with the property. Suddenly, her human hears a barely audible noise to which she reacts by gasping. I hear something, Woodward exclaims excitedly. I hear puppies. At first, she can't quite identify where the little yaps are coming from. Then the animal rescuer realizes that the puppies are somewhere beneath her, and the camera pans to the broken floorboards. It turns out that the puppies are indeed in the hole, and Betty practically confirms the suspicion when she approaches it. Meanwhile, Woodward is beside herself with happiness at locating the pups. Indeed, she can't stop giggling with joy at how Betty led her to the tiny animals. Betty consequently hops down into the hole, and the camera reveals her under the boards tending to the babies. It is hard to tell how many there are, but a number of pups scurry around their mommy's legs. Then perhaps the hardest part begins, the rescue. Woodward and her rescue team manage to capture several puppies off camera and put them in a pet holder. However, there are more remaining. And as Betty refuses to leave her hidey hole, the team lift out another puppy around the mum, although they have to pick Betty up before the rescue continues. The PPR team count 8 little fur babies, with 2 remaining under the floorboards. In fact, the pups are tucked too far away for most of the team to reach, even after some floor planks are removed. Fortunately, though, a pair of minors have joined the rescue effort, and one of them, a young man, offers to help. Fortunately, the young man is small enough to squeeze through the gap and under the boards with the adult's supervision. under guidance. Then, he passes out a further 2 puppies. He also confirms that they are the last babies left, bringing Betty's puppy total to 10. And Woodward's heart melted at Betty's dedication to her puppies. Betty traveled 2 miles every day to go into the city to scavenge in trash cans for food, she said to Metro. Then in the evening she would head back to the country to feed her puppies. The rescuer went on to describe how Betty's trust in locating the puppies meant so much to her. "I knew puppies were out there, and I couldn't let them suffer and starve to death," Woodward concluded. And thanks to her team, 11 more dogs know what it is to be loved. I hope you like this video, then please hit the subscribe button and click on bell icon to never miss the video from our channel.